Hi, and a warm welcome to Women's Day and this webinar, The Art of Being a Woman. I just want to wish you, first of all, a happy Women's Day with a lot of love, inspiration, and joy. I am Georgiana Danet, a yoga and tantra teacher, the coordinator of Nata Yoga Center in Sweden. And I'm so happy to share with you one of the most dear topics to me, the art of being a woman. I have been teaching Tantra for women for over 29 years by now. And it is something which is very close, very dear to my soul. And I'm very happy to be able to share this with you. So please allow me to share with you what I have prepared for today. And I hope that you will also come with some questions at the end so that we can simply enjoy each other in this wonderful Women's Day. So, as I mentioned, the topic for today is the art of being a woman for modern goddesses. In the contemporary society, we need to regain our value as women. And we can do this by realizing what it is our true value as the incarnation of Shakti, or the eternal feminine. When a woman affirms and embraces her role as a woman, when she masters the art of being a woman, she awakens what it is called in the yoga tradition, the state of being a Shakti. She'll be then always in communion with the eternal feminine, with all the wonderful qualities which are specific for the eternal feminine. And the eternal feminine is what gives self-development a specific poetry, magic, transfiguration, mystery, juiciness, what it makes it delicious. And blaming others for the women's nowadays situation is not a constructive attitude. The male-oriented society is treating us condescendingly just because we allow it. They don't do it because they aren't having bad intentions. It is because this has been on for more than 5,000 years. And also because, as I already mentioned, we allow it. To be a woman, to express the eternal feminine and the Shakti qualities in our daily life can be regarded as an art that one can learn as any other art you can think of. What it is necessary in order to learn the art of being a woman is aspiration, consciousness, perseverance, and above all, enormous love. At the level of the entire macrocosm, Mahashakti, or the eternal feminine, manifests and affirms the grandeur of woman's creative principle. Even when we, as women, so far do not realize this, we are and we remain the privileged messenger of Mahashakti, or the eternal feminine. So the first step we as women need to take when we decide to start our transformation is to have a clear picture of the ideal woman, so we know what to strive for, what to aspire for, what we want to do in order for us to transform and become this ideal woman, which, as I mentioned, in the yoga and tantra tradition is called attaining the state of Shakti. The Shakti state will grant us love, grace, tenderness, sensitivity, playfulness, spontaneity, open-heartedness. In other words, a glorious treasure that will reflect also in our harmonious physical appearance. So starting with the physical appearance and the physical body, we can say without any doubt that the woman's body is amazing. The woman body has an amazing complexity. It has 12 openings compared with 9 in the case of the man's body. The woman, therefore, can also experience over 100 distinct forms of orgasm, while the man cannot reach such a complexity, but he can, through empathy, experience all these states of orgasm that the woman can attain. So it is important to value our body, physical body, because it is the one that we can, is the one that we use all the time, and it is the one that helps us experience everything in this physical manifestation. We need to know that the shape of our physical body is in reality the expression of a mysterious necessity. It's not by chance that we look the way we look, that the physical body we have has the shape, the proportions, the harmonious structuring that it has right now. Because our physical body is the mysterious connection between consciousness and reality. Our physical body is a sacred temple in which there are stored our memories, dreams, aspirations, and hopes. Our physical body is an important instrument that allows us to savor all our human experiences. Imagine feeling happiness or feeling the savor of the food that you eat without having a physical body. You realize that it is impossible, isn't it? We are all aware of our emotions, states, feelings, sensations, and so on, only because our physical body registers them. Without it, we cannot experience them. So, from this point of view, we can easily say that our body is perfectly unitary with us, with the true us, and reflects exactly what we are right now. We can also say that our physical body is the headquarters of an immense knowledge and the guide towards mysterious dimensions. In reality, the being and the body of a woman are constitutive parts of the gigantic being and body of Mahashakti, or the eternal feminine. And Kundalini Shakti, this fundamental mysterious energy, which is always present, either in an active form or in a latent form in the body of each woman, is and remains the mysterious messenger of Mahashakti. The physical body is a mysterious vessel that can handle the entire love that our soul offers us. And this is something which is as mysterious, as complex, and almost miraculous. So our physical body is the mysterious vessel that can handle the entire love that our soul can offer us. And again, without it, we cannot experience it. The energy of love manifests through our physical body into this material world. A very simple and delicious example. Imagine you making love with your beloved without you having a physical body. Not that easy, isn't it? When our body is fulfilled, as it should, so not too skinny, not too fat, when it is full of vital energy, full of amorous energy and harmonious, it can be a gift, a treasure, a trump, a great joy, a gigantic reservoir of energy, because according to the science, we have 200,000 volts in each cell in our body. Can you imagine what you can do when you harness this immense energy? Our body is also a temple of sublime pleasures, a delight, a capodopera, a mysterious celebration of life. So, in order for us to attain the state of Shakti or to master the art of being a woman, when we awaken more and more the state of Shakti, actually what we do is that we take important steps towards becoming a complete being. And when we awaken fully in us the Shakti state, which means also becoming the ideal woman that we are meant to be in this life, in this incarnation, shortly after, we also become like a bridge between two worlds, the physical universe and the astral universe. And a very important secret, when God wants to do something very important, God will hide that from man. When God wants to do something extraordinarily important, God will take the help of a woman who is prepared to do God's will. And this is actually a super delicious secret which requires abandon, sacrifice, being able to understand, to feel, to intuit which is God's will, and then to do it. So now it's time to apply the art of being a woman. In every extraordinary woman, there are thousands of charming facets that awaken and start to manifest one by one, making to blossom in the whole world, in all its splendor, the eternal feminine, the energies, the specific facets of the eternal feminine. We can become ourselves a Shakti, a truly awakened woman, a divine, deep, complex feminine nature who vibrates in resonance with the divine superior energies and who can manifest what we can call the supreme unifying factor, which is and will always be love. So these are some of the abilities we women need to develop when we decide that we want to master the art of love in our life. Discipline, intensive concentration, patience, sensitiveness, and overcoming our own narcissism. Without these qualities and some others, it will be a little bit difficult to be able to master the art of love. And you can understand it very easily because it is logical and common sense. Without discipline, you cannot master any art, no matter which one it is. And the art of love is even more important. Without intensive concentration, you will not be able to transform, to progress. Without patience, you will maybe give up before you reach the level of mastership. Without sensitiveness to be able to detect what it is necessary and when it is necessary, again, how would you be able to master such an important art? And as long as we are selfish and narcissistic, how can you give love? How can you offer love? How can you master this love? So these are only 5 of the qualities or the abilities we need to develop when we decide that we also want to master the art of love. And in the moment that this awakening happens to the ability to love, it does due to the resonance, to the process of resonance. And this is, if you like, the great secret that allows us to achieve everything a human feminine nature can achieve when we have attained the state of Shakti, or let's put it like this, in modern words, when we master the art of being a woman. When we become aware of our qualities and when we awaken them, then we can also manifest these godly energies in a beneficial manner. We can connect ourselves as awakened, spiritual, conscious women to these infinite reservoirs of the godly attributes. and manifest in the physical world phenomena that for others will appear to be impossible or miraculous or wonderful. But for us as an awakened, spiritual, conscious woman, it will simply be normal for us. But in order to reach such a level, we need to prime this awakening of the state of Shakti, or the ideal womanhood. And the easiest, the most direct method is and will always be the love. Because that which is in a Shakti is everywhere. That which is not present in a Shakti, it doesn't exist anywhere. So when we love intensively, deeply, endlessly, the love is pouring over us and generating us a wonderful feeling of excitement, even different forms of beneficial trance, or even overwhelming states of ecstasy. So love remains for us, whether we are aware of it or not, the supreme goal, irrespective of what other goals we may have in our life. For a woman who discovered how wonderful, how fulfilling, how delicious is to love, it's not difficult to give love. For such a woman, it is difficult not to give every time an endless love. When we as women will learn a lot about our inner nature by teaching others generously. This is one of the quickest ways for us to transform and to learn about human nature, about the mysteries of life, about everything that you can think of, is by teaching others in a generous manner. Because a Shakti is always happy when she makes others happy. We also now need to know that among the qualities that will help us master the art of being a woman is unshakable hope. Because unshakable hope is actually a paranormal power. This unshakable hope will generate a constant state of resonance, process of resonance with the energy, with the aspect that we hope for, and it will attract it to us, and thus it will become our reality. And when we believe something, we put ourselves into unison with that aspect that we believe in. And due to the phenomenon of resonance, transformations will occur in us. So, for example, when we believe that we are worthy of love, when we believe that we can love more and more every day, when we believe in the qualities that we notice we have, we simply make them stronger because we place ourselves into resonance with exactly that type of energy, with exactly that reality, which will become our reality. So it is important to remember that a strong, conscious faith generates freedom. So I'm not speaking here about an imaginary or a phantasmagorical, non-based a faith which is not based in reality. So, for example, if I will now think I am perfect, I am the most wonderful woman in the entire universe, this is not exactly faith. This is just imagination, and that will not help us transform so much. So conscious faith means that we have our feet anchored in reality and our consciousness cleared. Other qualities that we need to develop when we want to attain this state of being an ideal woman, or the state of Shakti. And one of the most important aspects for us as women is to always remember ourselves. Because women, we have been brought up, and there is in our nature to take care of others, to self-sacrifice, to place ourselves many times on the last place on the list of priorities. And this will make that many times we will forget about ourselves. And when I say remember ourselves, I am not referring to our personality. I am not referring to, for example, social status, name, age, and so on. I am referring to the true nature. When I say the self, it is who we really are, our true nature, our divine sparkle. This remembering of one's self is crucial in all situations, in all experiences we have, in all the love, in all the passion we abandon ourselves to, because it will make us always be centered, not scattered, not when we are in connection with ourselves. We can blossom much better. We can manifest our qualities much easier. We will be able to be this extraordinary woman because it comes from our center. It comes from our true nature. It comes from our true self. And we also need to realize that this remembering of the self will help us to reveal the supreme self, which is called Atman in the yoga tradition. And actually, this is our purpose in life. When we decided to come on this planet in the shape of a woman, with all the life experiences that we are going through, actually our main goal, our purpose in life is this, to reveal our supreme self, to discover who we really are. We are not here to have a lot of clothes and jewels, or we are not here not even to have fulfilling relationships. We are here to have the most important relationship to our true self. And what is important from this perspective is not what we do, but who we are, who we really are. The art of being a woman implies the union with the divine. And this is reachable due to surrender. When we surrender ourselves, when we actually give up our ego, put aside our ego so that we can manifest this delicious feminine nature, which is specific for any woman, then we will be able to feel the union with the divine. We will be happy, harmonious, but also an inspiration for others. The real humbleness, which is another quality that is necessary for us as women in order to master the art of being a woman, is another delicious facet of us as women. And actually, the real humbleness is the one in front of God, because we can easily mimic humbleness in front of colleagues, family, friends, other people. We cannot mimic anything in front of God. So the real humbleness is the one that we experience in our soul in front of God. And it also means to realize that we are nobody. We cannot do and we cannot understand anything without the help of God. This, please don't misunderstand it. It doesn't mean that we are helpless, non-intelligent, or anything else like that. It means that we understand our real place in this manifestation. We understand something which is actually miraculous. The mere fact that we exist is a miracle. The mere fact that we have a consciousness, a soul, a heart, and everything else, that we exist, that we are alive, it is a miracle. And this miracle is because of God. God created us. So this means the real humbleness to realize our true place in the manifestation, and the fact that everything that we do, everything that we understand, everything that we experience is due to God. So we should give God the place that God deserves, meaning the first place in our life. Honesty is another quality we need to develop when we decide we want to master the art of being a woman. It is an essential virtue that we as women need to cultivate also in order to enrich our spiritual life. Because this, without honesty, we will not have a protection on the spiritual path. And our honesty needs to be total, absolute. Because, as I said, it's the only protection a Shakti has on the spiritual path. Let me put it simple. without us being honest, we can easily trick ourselves that we are different, that we really are, that we are more or that we are less than we really are. So we will not be able to assess correctly the actual level we are on. And therefore, we will not be able to decide correctly and efficiently which are the necessary steps we need to take in order to evolve. So when we have a total and absolute honesty, we are protected. And this honesty needs to start with ourselves. So we need to be honest with ourselves and not fool ourselves that we are different than we really are. It doesn't help in any manner. In order to awaken the state of Shakti in ourselves, we also need to be thirsty for freedom. As long as we don't realize who we really are, we will have a mask, we will play a role, we will be still separated from our true nature. We'll be prisoners of our illusions. So if we want to discover who we really are, if we want to awaken the state of Shakti and this ability to really be an ideal woman, we need to be thirsty for freedom. We need to really feel like without it we cannot live. That intensity we have to have. And also, one of the first qualities we need to develop when we start awakening the state of Shakti is memory and intelligence. Probably already heard this quote, but please allow me to repeat it for all of us. In Tantra Sara, it is said, above the one who is ignorant is the one having knowledge. Above the one having knowledge is the one memorizing it. And this is just the beginning of the quote. But when we start having spiritual experiences, we really need to memorize them. We need to have them alive in our memory, because every time we remember them, we place ourselves into a state of occult resonance with exactly the same energy and the same experience. So we enhance it, we make it stronger. If we, for example, do a super successful meditation and we feel a delicious state, a spiritual state, and it is enchanting and uplifting and so on, we need to memorize it, because if we forget it, it is almost like we lose it. And we cannot afford losing our spiritual states. The human nature is strong enough, and one of the toughest challenges for us as incarnated souls in a human body in this physical world are the emotions. And as we all know, emotions are not always glorious, ecstatic, uplifting, enlightening. Some of the emotions are dragging us down. So having a strong archive with delicious spiritual states, with high spiritual states, it will actually also protect us from falling into the human nature, which is not so close to the divine nature. As conscious spiritual women, we need always to have a goal, and the goal, of course, has to be divine, to become one with the absolute. I already said that we are incarnated here with one purpose and one purpose only, to reveal our true self, which also means, in other words, to become one with the absolute. Another aspect which is super important for us as women is to rediscover and maintain our harmony, in case right now we don't have it so deeply. Harmony is a state of resonance with a specific godly attribute, with a godly attribute of godly harmony. And the more harmony we feel, the more harmony we receive. Remember that harmony represents a happy phase of spiritual balance that is specific for each satisfactory and meaningful life. We are here to live a meaningful life, and harmony is really the necessary background for everything that we experience. Without harmony, life is not so fun to live. Remember that we need to do everything we know to place ourselves in resonance with the divine energy of harmony. Other important qualities for us as women, which are also making us attractive, more spiritual, more evolved, are patience, kindness, goodwill. Patience is the prerogative of the genius. Probably you know the quote that the genius is 5% intelligence and 95% patience. It is based on strong willpower and trust that what we strive for will become real for us when we persevere, of course. To have patience with ourselves and with the loved ones means inner peace, trust that we are on the right track and that we will maintain harmonious relationships. So when I mention patience, it's not only to be patient with other people, it means also to be patient with ourselves, to remember that we have a long path to go. Spiritual evolution is not always a walk on rose petals. So when we notice that we stumbled, the path is not, we don't go exactly straight, and we don't go exactly straight upwards, patience is necessary also to ourselves. Kindness is another virtue, is a mellow virtue in a beautiful soul. When being kind, we approach the loved ones with optimism, with charm, delicacy, an open mind, empathy, compassion, irrespective of the situation. And it just came to my consciousness that the most kind person that I've ever met and the most patient person that I ever met is our spiritual guide. The kindness is always alleviating suffering. Just remember, when you saw somebody suffering, if you just are a little bit kind and give them a few kind words, it's almost removing the suffering immediately. And we can also be kind to ourselves when we suffer for any reason that might be there. Kindness also calms down. It regenerates us, both us and the ones that we offer the kindness to. It grants us charisma, enchantment. The kind one, for example, can give a bouquet of flowers or some sweets or sugar-free chocolate without expecting anything in return. One of my students, actually, she is in the Tantra for Women, and she's also in the yoga, really is an example of kindness. She's always thinking what to offer, what to give to others. And it's so... it's touching my soul so much, and I notice what a charisma and what an enchantment is to just be around her due to her exemplary kindness. And also the kind one will always say the right words or give the right compliments and will be helpful. And it doesn't require so much effort from our part. So in a woman who has also patience, kindness, and goodwill, she will emanate this charisma and this enchantment that will make her very inspirational. Another amazing quality of the woman is her inborn capacity to practice the erotic amorous continence. And this is a long story, which I not start here. It is good to keep in mind that women are naturally endowed with an amazing ability to practice the erotic amorous continence naturally. Another amazing quality of a woman is her capacity to experience different types of orgasm during long periods of time. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, we are able as women to experience over 100 different forms of orgasm that can last for minutes, for hours, sometimes even for days or for months. My intention is not to brag here. I just come here with the confirmation. So the longest state of orgasm that I have experienced non-stop was lasting for 7 months. It is possible, and it is in our feminine nature. When a woman practices the erotic amorous continence, she can even reach the state of cosmic orgasm, which is a state of a high form of ecstasy. So if we think just shortly on our role in the modern society, because we live in it, we exist in it right now, then we can come to the conclusion that women who express their wonderful qualities as a daughter, a sister, a wife, a lover, a mother, a heroine, and also as an initiating woman and a spiritual guide, are coming closer to the typology of the ideal woman. So I put here all this because we have all these roles in our life as a daughter, wife, lover, mother, sister, but above all, an initiating woman. When we have access to spiritual knowledge, when we also, not only that we have access to knowledge, but we also apply it practically in our daily life, we, from this perspective, can consider ourselves to be an initiated woman. So from that, there is only one little step in which we need to become the woman who is initiating others. And this ability to initiate others is also part of the art of being a woman. Initiating others doesn't mean necessarily that you sit in front of a camera and keep a lecture. Initiating others means that you respect all the spiritual principles that you already learned about. You respect them and you apply them in your daily life. And in your feminine manner, with kindness, patience, goodwill, you inspire others to live their life on a higher level, to be more compassionate, to love more, to have more kindness, and so on, by being yourself an example, a living example, role model. So here I am coming with some practical examples about how we can live our life, our daily life, our physical life, as a Shakti, as an ideal woman, as a conscious, awakened woman. For example, when we are at work, we can strive for being always a source of harmony. I don't know what work, what place of work you have, but I've been myself in the situation and also heard from many of my students that not all places of work are a source of harmony. Nevertheless, we can be the source of harmony there and change, transform to the better the atmosphere. We can always, for example, have a smile or a compliment at hands for others and have patience and kindness for them. We can also avoid at any costs gossiping and value highly our time, but by not engaging ourselves in unnecessary discussions, chit chat just for the sake of it. For example, when we come home after a long day of work and we take a shower, or a bath, we can ask the angels of water to remove the physical and subtle impurities from us. So we take the shower or the bath in a conscious manner. We can also remember again that the shape of our physical body expresses a certain necessity. So no matter the shape, we need to love ourselves and to accept ourselves exactly as we are. If we are about to get in a bad mood or to get stressed or irritated and so on, we stop And we can ask ourselves, what would a Shakti do in such a situation? What would an ideal woman do in such a situation? Then we simply choose to react in accordance with the intuited answer. So we apply it practically, because if we are open, the inspiration from the eternal feminine, from Shakti, will come to us and will guide us always with a lot of love and patience. We need also to remember, especially when the stress reaches some high level, or when the life is having a pace which is too fast, that the magic, the sacred, and the love are constantly present. So it's just up to us to connect ourselves into our soul, to these energies and to these godly attributes that exist constantly, all the time, present in our life. We just need to open as much as possible for these aspects. We can also, because we are women and in our nature that is this delicious energy of beauty, we can put and create beauty in everything we do. And we can also remind ourselves that beauty is fundamentally connected to the reflection in the whole creation of truth, love, divine harmony, and kindness. So every time we do something to bring more beauty, no matter if it is to put a nice, beautiful clothes on us or to put a flower in a vase, no matter what we do, we actually place ourselves in subtle resonance with truth, love, divine harmony, kindness, while we create this beauty and manifest this beauty in our daily life. Also, we interact with people all the time, with the exception that we are a hermit and live in a cave somewhere up in the mountains. We interact with people all the time. So we need to remind ourselves and to realize that the others are souls who aspire also for spiritual perfection, even if right now they don't even realize it. So we need to be kind and patient with them, because they have their own luggage, their own personal history, which we are not aware of it completely. So we can think of them, we can consider them incarnated souls who aspire for spiritual perfection, being also in this school that we call life. We all need to have the spiritual dimension in our life. And I've had so many discussions with people who mistake spirituality for religion and religiosity, but the spiritual dimension doesn't have to do anything with religion. The spiritual dimension is actually that deep core which every human being has inside of him or her, which is actually connected to our true nature. So without having the spiritual dimension in our life, is like we pull a curtain between the personality and the true self. It doesn't lead anywhere good. And also from time to time, we can apply the golden rules to treat others exactly the same way we would like to be treated by the others. In life, as in love, what often defines us is the actions we have the strength to do, as well as those actions we have the courage to withstand. So we need to be capable of saying no when necessary, both to ourselves and also to the loved ones, in order to avoid getting into negative, inharmonious, destructive, non-spiritual states. So saying no to what it is disharmonious means in the same time saying yes to what it is harmonious. So we need to learn the art of saying no to all negative, disharmonious aspects anytime it is necessary. And another very important aspect for us as women is to stop making compromises, because the real spiritual evolution starts when we stop making compromises. We cannot expect to become the real us, to reveal our true nature, ourself, and in the same time to make compromises. It doesn't function. And also women, as women, we have a little bit too much the tendency to compare ourselves to others, and also to criticize either ourselves or others in our consciousness. It's not helping. So it will be very good if we can stop comparing ourselves to others and criticize ourselves or others in our consciousness. It will be much more helpful if we compare ourselves to ourselves. Am I today a little bit better, a little bit more harmonious, more loving, more evolved than I was yesterday? This is much more productive comparison than comparing ourselves all the time to others. And many times women have the tendency to do that in their detriment. So I am comparing myself to another one just to put myself down. It's something which I've noticed is it happens quite often with many women. So instead of comparing ourselves or criticizing others, we can transfigure the people around us. We need to learn to see. So we train our attention, because every single human being, even those who we don't like, that we hold a grudge against, or that we feel a strong sense of antipathy, even those have beautiful aspects, harmonious traits. You can imagine that these people that we don't like, let's take it as a general example, they are friends with other people who actually admire them and like them and love them. So if we make a little bit of an effort of having clarity of consciousness, we will start seeing. We will start discovering all the beneficial, beautiful aspects and qualities in others and transfigure them. And the more we will be able to transfigure, the better we will feel. So it's also a hidden reward in the ability to transfigure others. As long as we do that, we will feel good. No matter what they do, no matter how they are, as long as we have this ability to transfigure, we will feel very good. And we all know that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. We can also express our gratitude often. I have it as a rule for myself to express my gratitude at least 7 times a day. So I thank God at least 7 times a day for the ability, for example, to spend this time with you right now, for the fact that I have a roof over my head, I have food that I can eat almost every day, and so on. So we can find many reasons for which to express our gratitude. And there is a principle, there is a fundamental divine law behind it. For everything that we are grateful for, we will receive more of that. And another ability that we need to develop is to forgive, forgive, forgive. And in order to forgive, we need to bring upon in our inner universe, through invocation, the sublime, subtle, endless, beneficial, free energy of the godly attribute of godly forgiveness. Forgiveness will liberate us. Forgiveness will free us from a lot of emotional suffering. And also when we forgive, we free ourselves from all those whom we were not able to forgive so far. So forgiving is one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves. Another important aspect, quality, skills in a woman is our ability to connect to the cosmic will. So doing God's will is something which is a little bit more natural for women. So we can do that by avoiding to involve ourselves in a selfish manner in situations, actions, and people, and instead ask ourselves, what is God's will in this situation? What is God's will in this relation? So the easiest way to get the answer to this question is to do the consecration, the special form of meditation, which comes from karma yoga. In case you are not in yoga, I just mentioned this shortly, that the consecration is the quickest and also the most sure manner in which you can receive the answer to the question, what is your will, God? And we can ask for subtle help in anything which is good that we do. There are subtle entities, beneficial, subtle, divine entities, who can help us every time we ask for help. And in the same manner, we can offer our help every time it is the right moment and the right help to give. Why do I say this? Because sometimes helping somebody else to any cost, it will make more damage than good. Some people need to learn their lesson without our help in that moment. So we need to be a little bit attentive and conscious when it is the right time to offer help and which is the right help to offer when it is time to do that. And also now we went through almost the whole day. We came to the night when we go to bed. We can go through everything that we did this day, and we will transform visually those aspects, those things that we said or did less good. So, for example, if I was in a situation and because of unattentiveness or scatteredness, I said something which I regretted, but right then I didn't correct that. All right, it's done. But now when I am lying down in bed, I can go through my day, through the situations that I've been into. And when I come to the situation where I said something that I regret, I can visualize the entire situation, remember it with as many details as possible. And when I come to the moment that I said something which I regret, instead of saying that, I will say now the proper words so that the results, the consequences will be much better. And this is a very good practice actually, because it trains our ability to discern much better which is the right thing to do, which is the not right thing to do. And it's easy when you lie down in bed and there are no intense emotions and no intense energies that you need to cope with. But it's a good training, because doing this every evening, we will simply develop this ability to discern very quickly which is the right thing to do or to say, and then do it. And also at the end of the day, it's very good that we express our gratitude for having a new day that we lived, a new chance to evolve spiritually. And actually, I do this every morning. When I wake up, the first thought I have in my consciousness is to say thank you that I get a new day, a new chance to evolve spiritually, to discover who I really am, to discover God. So we can do these gratitude moments in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. And we can finish our day with a simple prayer or a meditation so that we prepare very well for the night to come. Because in the same manner that we prepare for a new day to come by all the practical aspects we do in the morning, we can also do more or less the same in order for us to prepare for the night. Especially that during the night, if we do not yet have lucid dreaming, if we are not yet conscious during the night that we dream, so that we can go to the astral levels and subtle worlds that we choose. It's extra important that we prepare well for the night, so that these energies that are in us at the moment of falling asleep will be our ticket to the destination. So the higher the state of meditation we have when we go to bed, before we fall asleep, the more beautiful the destination in the astral world for us will be. So we need to make sure that the last aspects, the last thoughts we have in our consciousness before we fall asleep is something which is uplifting. Remember the ticket and the destination. Wish again for all of you a wonderful Women's Day. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me. I hope that you will have a wonderful spring with a delicious feminine experiences.